Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Through Black and White Eyes. Hooray! It's been a week. The volume's working for a change. I am still knackered from Sunday, and it's bloody Thursday. So that tells you what's been going on in my life recently. We are here for the transfer show. Let's face it, there's not a lot been happening, but there'll be a lot to discuss because there's a lot of stuff been going around and it's trying to work out what's real and what's not. So we're going to try and help you guys do that. There's the link if you would like to become a member. It's at the top of the chat. Cheers, it's great to see you back. I know you've got a new job, so you're not able to watch as much as you would like to, but please remember to keep comments respectful. No caps, duplicate, super chats are available in the bottom right-hand corner. If you wish to donate, join for 99p and enjoy the show. Welcome back for another transfer show, says Leslie. Who's this? Yeah, Jules. He's back. It's been ages. And then they've all had a bit of a chat with each other. There's Roger. Roger, good evening. It's an 8:15 start because I forgot to put the start time on the tweet I put out. It's been a long day. I've had 2 kids to look after all day, so it's been a very long, tiring. There we go. Right. Ian, how we doing?
All right, mate.
Knackered, but look what we've got.
Oh, we've got the trophy.
Good day, wasn't it?
Huh?
It was a good day, wasn't it?
Oh, it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. Football aside, though, like I said on the day, the amount of kids with a smiling faces on was just that was it for me. It was a remarkable day. A success for the first one. Everybody was so proud of everybody, and solely rightly so. A lot of hard work went into it behind the scenes. A lot of hard work went on the day. Ridiculous amounts of hard work, including us old codgers trying to kick a football about. That was hard work, but it was a fantastic day. Everybody thoroughly enjoyed it, and we raised I'm not sure of the final figure, but I'm sure we raised a fantastic amount of money for a great cause.
We're still waiting for the final figure, but I know it's over £2,000.
Oh, that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. We couldn't ask for any more.
Exactly. It was great. Suffering, though. And I saw John yesterday as well, walking around York with him. That tired me out with the little one.
Yeah, when you were toddling around with John around York and that, I was carrying bricks and blocks on a building site in heat. So, I mean, on Monday, God almighty. I mean, the last charity match I done for Gary Pearson, God rest his soul, that was tough. But this was, I don't know, they've been on 11-a-side pitch, it was on a different level. My legs today are still aching. But it's, well, like I say, it was well worth it. And I'm glad, and I am going to say it, the first cameraman missed me goal.
Did he?
Yeah, he missed it.
No way.
He missed it. And I thought you'd have picked up on it, right?
I haven't watched the game back yet. I need to go through it and pick out all the highlights, but I thought he got it.
No, because obviously my wife went for something to eat, so everybody missed it. And I says, don't worry, it'll be right in front of the camera. You'll see it because the camera was on that side. And then when I got it, I went, oh my God, he's missed it. So they were all laughing. So until Zoe came up with the absolute.
Yeah, I've seen she got it on her phone, didn't she?
She got it, and it wasn't a bad finish.
Zara. It was Zara. I knew I wouldn't hear the end of it.
Yeah. It wasn't a bad finish. I just have to get that in.
It was very good. Let's bring Will in. How are we doing, Will? How was your holiday?
Yeah, it was good, thank you. I'm back properly now, back for good. So hopefully no issues this time.
Yeah, that was fun. We're not going to hear the end of Ian's goals, so I had to bring it in very quickly while he started talking about it.
Wise decision.
Yeah, I had a stinker. Well, that's a different day.
Did you say penalty miss or not?
See, Zara cut it out. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. The referee blew and said, "Oh, you got to take it again." The keeper was off his line, and I just smiled and I smashed it in the second time. So, but the first one was disgusting. It was very embarrassing.
You looked very nervous when you were running up the take, and it was very strange because it was only about. Don't get us wrong. I think watching the game, I reckon there would have been 200 watching it all around the ground, which was quite a lot. There was a lot. By the penalty shootout, I think it was about 12. So Baz was nervous for 12.
I was giggling when I walked up. I changed my mind. You never change your mind in a penalty. I was always going to go right hand side. I went with the second one, and I changed my mind and went left.
No, but you could tell you changed your mind because you walked up to it and you just kind of went half down the middle and like half to like down the side.
It was shocking. It was a shocking pen.
It's terrible. Your
It
second one was
embarrassing.
decent. Your second one was
good.
Yeah, it was a decent pen. The second one.
That's what I should have done first time, but there we go. How's John?
I'm all right. I've just got back from Edinburgh. I'm doing a parade up there in September, so I'll be a little bit busy in September.
Oh, very nice. Parade.
Yeah, so it's just for the 1 o'clock gun. So
the gay community, for the trans community, for straight community.
It's obviously I'm in the army, so I'm doing the 1 o'clock gun. So every day at 1 o'clock, the 105mm light gun fires off.
Oh, I didn't know.
So if you're ever in Edinburgh and you hear loud bang, that's what it is, and it's happened every day since 1817. So I'm going up to do that for a few weeks.
Excellent
history lesson. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
It's going to be good.
Good, yeah. Not my sort. I don't like firing. I fired a gun once on holiday. It was terrible. I hated it. I was shooting at a target, not at someone. There's a few people I wouldn't mind shooting at on Twitter, but there you go.
Just wind them up. Just wind them up. Just say something, put an eyes on there, and just watch it explode.
Will knows all about that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But the app is officially out, by the way. Get it downloaded. It's on Apple and also on Android. Thought I'd just point that out very quickly before we go into the transfer news.
I think it's brilliant, mind.
I've downloaded it, but I haven't had a chance to have a good look around it yet.
I had a little go earlier, and every time you seem to go on something, it keeps on going on to like the internet site. So, probably just a few.
Yeah, mine. When I've just been looking through it, it's just been absolutely perfect. It's been absolutely spot on. I mean, the new press, the new press conference room and everything about it looks way miles better. You can actually hear the journalist speaking to
yes, there was always an issue, wasn't it? You could hear the answer, but you can never hear what the question was, and you had to try and work out what the question was that was asked. It was a bit of a nightmare.
It seems a lot more crisper and everything looks, or just looks bigger and better. Little steps like that looks. It is good. Like it is really, really good. I mean, when I first
small things, isn't it? Really.
Yeah. I mean, when I first scrolled through it, Baz, I didn't really get into anything until I actually logged in with my NUFC details, and then it just opened up a little bit. You could watch a little bit more. So that's it. It is a good app. Like it really is.
That's what I need to do, is get logged into it and have a good look around when I get a chance. I wish we lived. Yeah, honestly, you missed a good day on Sunday. It was fun. It was fun. We'll probably do it again next year, no doubt. But we'll talk about that another time, because we've got another fundraiser coming up in January, which I'll let you all know about a little bit later on. But what's this one? How are you all doing tonight? We're all very good, just a bit sore. Here's our most recent signing, Will Osula from Denmark, signed from Sheffield United, 10 rising to 15 million apparently. He's 21. This isn't a Mitchell signing. This is very much an Eddie Howe signing in. But it makes sense, financial sense, because you'll be a third choice. Wilson's still there. So it's backup, isn't it, really? It's another body.
Eddie Howe today admitted that we couldn't go out and spend ridiculous amounts of money on a forward. He's admitted that today, and it's the background what comes along with, because he's Jason Tindall at Sheffield United. This is where this signings came about. So it is a manager and an assistant manager's trust, and it's a trust where Eddie Howe believes he can develop this kid into be a superstar for a low figure. He understands his role, which what Eddie Howe said, and he's going to learn from two of the best about, which is obviously Isak and Callum Wilson. So that, to me, what I've heard today, and I know managers speak very clever, because they don't like to let anything out, right? So they're not going to say that Callum Wilson's going to be going out in a press conference. What he's basically saying is he's going to learn from two of the best, and he's going to come in and play his role. So for me, potentially, this kid, 6'3", he's got great ability. I've seen videos on him with his feet. He looks like a player that could be molded into a very, very, very good player, by the way. However, game time, that's the thing. How much game time is he going to get if Callum Wilson and Isak's fit? So to development, it's going to be a slow process. Yeah. And again, that's another thing. And so for me, if them two are fit, it's going to be a slow process thing. But it could be a one. It's going to be one for the future. And again,
it's no risk, isn't it?
It's the financial fair play thing, Baz, that people don't understand, where we're going down a route where we're looking to bring players in with so much potential that can gain us where other clubs do that, and we're not in a position to do it. So we are looking down that route. And if this pays off, fair play to them. They'll either go one way or the other. And for a low transfer fee, look at Minter. Minter was a low transfer fee. Yep. That hand was forced. And you can see he's a great, great player. So we've just got to trust that this kid's going to be another top player. So fair play. Let's see what comes about him.
Yeah. John, what's your thoughts on the signing? Are you pleased, or is it just like, well, something not to get excited about, but it's another body through the door?
A little bit, both sides of the coin. He's not exactly the one where you think, oh yes, we've definitely got him. You know, I can't believe we've got this one through the door. But he is that third striker. He is that young striker that we've all been crying out for the last year, 2 years, for someone to just take those last 10 minutes when we're already 3-4-0 up, etc., just to get on, save the legs of Isak, save the legs of Wilson, and, you know, playing those cup games where, you know, we're playing like the lower league teams, because you can easily start those games, no problem with Isak or Wilson on the bench. And it's like what Ian said, it's low risk with potential high reward, because he might hit the ground running for all we know, like at the start of the season. If he gets 10, 12 goals, you know, anyone could call in in next summer. And you know what Chelsea are like, they'll offer us 80 million for him, but you know, what, 10 million, 15 million pounds eventually, if he hits all his like quarters, so to speak. If he hits the ground running, gleaming. But he's that third striker, and he's got Isak and he's got Wilson to learn off, and he could potentially become the second choice striker. Yeah. You know, and one day he might go.
When Wilson's injured, he will be the second choice striker. Yeah, that's what he's there for, isn't he? He's there to
exactly.
Cover Wilson won't be there.
Exactly, and what in maybe 2, 3, 4 years, he might say, "Look, I want to be number one striker. I want that move." And he might get, depends on how good he's done, he might get that top 6, top 8 move, or he might go abroad, you know. And if we can make 15 million on him, then by all means, hopefully in 6 years' time, our PSR is all sorted, but it all helps in the long run.
Yeah, of course it does. Will, it's not one that, you know, anyone really had any eyes on, which I like, because it means the club is kind of a bit of a closed shop at the moment. It came out of nowhere. Yeah. Did you hear anything on it, or was it literally like, whoa, where's this come from?
I mean, I only heard him mentioned once or twice in particular, but I knew they were looking for that type of profile of player, a sort of third choice striker in there with the injury worries of obviously Callum Wilson, and we know Isaac's had his issues in the past. So I think he's coming in more of that player that can cover them. If Wilson's injured, I think he'll be there on the bench. He might come on last 20 minutes of the game or something like that. But at the same time, I think if they're both fit, he'll be learning off both of them, maybe playing a couple of games in the under-21s if he can't quite get into the team, if both Isaac and Wilson are firing. And I think when you look at the profile of him as well, he's quite unique if you look at his skill sets that he's got. So he's 6'3", but his dribbling and the way he moves is quite unique for a player of his size. And his pace as well, he's rapid. So I think he's got a lot of the right attributes. He's good at getting shots off on both feet, but it's just putting it all together, and I think that's basically what Eddie Howe's job is now. But if we can turn him into that top striker, I think there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good one from Blair there. They must rate him above anything in the youth system, which is a good sign for him.
Yeah, 100%. I would rate him above anything I've seen in the youth system.
When was the last top forward that came through the youth system that came breaking into the first team that really excited? Sorry,
Andy Carroll. He did excite us a bit. Come on. Andy Carroll was good until he went to Liverpool.
Yeah,
that was a while ago now, though. When you think about it, you think how long ago that was.
That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. That's how we've had this conversation before, Baz. How our youth system feels, our first team, and you can see what they're doing now. They're bringing these young ones in to try and get to that level. Andy Carroll was a great back in the day. Would you say a great PSR move? We got great money for him. Now, can you imagine that deal being done now? Homegrown talent. That kind of money going to Liverpool, great.
Yeah, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. No, would it? We're not a selling club anymore. We're trying not to be a selling club. That's the problem.
But I'm saying, as a PSR, that's what Chelsea do. That's what Manchester. Look at what Manchester City's just done there, Alvarez. God Almighty, the profit that they gain in two transfers gone to Cole Palmer and Alvarez. Cole Palmer was absolutely nothing, and then they sold him 55. And then this kid's came at 18 million and going for 82. That's two players. And
he's a World Cup winner. He's scored over. He's got double figures handing in a season where Haaland dominates. You know, I think Alvarez is a quality striker.
Great striker. And we're struggling to offload high wage, low transfer fee. This is what people don't realise, the situation that Newcastle United is in. The transfer fee regarding the wages that these players on was simply, they're not attractive to anybody. They're not attractive. And that's the situation, and it's so difficult.
But it's a good thing, as you talk about, just a caveat there regarding the academy. And if you look at, like, obviously Mitchell's that's coming now, have you seen the amount of youngsters that's coming through the door now? It's unbelievable. Not to say that every single one of them is going to be an absolute superstar and make it to the Premier League, but that's what Paul Mitchell's doing now. He's not like, he's not nitpicking players. He's going, if he's got a potential, bring him in, and if he makes it, he makes it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. And that's what I think Newcastle are going to be doing now over the next couple of years, is just get all these youngsters in. If they make it and they become that elite level footballer, certain players like that, Sansus Ayu, I think that's how I pronounce it correctly. Players like him, who they're going to probably spend a lot of time with, same as Harrison, they'll probably keep them for a bit. But let's say a Hefferman type of player, if he comes in, has a good couple of games, and then a team comes and offers 20, 30 million, he'll be gone. And that's what they'll be doing with these academy players. And that's how our PSR will build over the years.
This is what I've been saying for months. Like, everyone, keep an eye on the under 15s, under 16s, under 17s, because we will flood our teams with them. And if they don't make it, they'll be sold on for 5, 10, 15, 20 million to lower league teams. And that's how you beat PSR.
And they don't have to go to a Premiership. They have to. They'll go to other countries, or they'll go to the Championship, But this is where Chelsea and Manchester City, they'll be still moving players on that we haven't even heard about or nothing. But always still be moving players on for a fifth. There'll be youth players going out for 5 million that you don't even know, you've never even heard of. Chelsea,
and they won't even make the news either. They'll just do it.
Liverpool and Manchester United, the youth setup for years has been the top of the game. They've dominated everything. And where's it? There's not very many of them youth team players that came through. That's in the first team. Where have they gone? They'll go to other clubs, like Ipswich, and they've had them on loan, and all of a sudden they're trying to buy them. And this is that you've never even heard of. This is the situation we've got to be in now.
And the best thing about it, regarding all these youngsters, let's say we sell an academy player who's, we think he's not going to make it in that 11. We sell him to a team in the Championship or a lower league team for 5-10 million. Straight away, we put in a sell-on clause for 20%. So if we still get that 10 million, and let's say they do end up peaking and flourishing as a footballer, and they get a move to a Brighton or an Atalanta or those esque teams, and they buy him for 30, 40 million, we're going to get a percentage of that. Like, obviously, the business people, and they're not stupid, are they? They're going to put in all these clauses to say, well, if you want him for 5 million, we want a 20% clause back, you know.
This is all one of the clever things in business as well. We did it with Ivan Toney. We had a sell on from when he went to Peterborough. Didn't move on to Brentford, which was a shame, because then Brentford looked like they could be selling them for decent amounts of money. This is a good point where I want to come to, Will, when it comes to Gear from Crystal Palace. Now, all the news is we're not meeting their valuation of the player. I think that's a load of rubbish. I think we've met the valuation of the player. However, we've structured the deal in a way that Crystal Palace don't like it.
Yeah,
and that's why they're rejecting it. So sell-on fees, Palace might want a 20% sell-on fee. If we're going to meet their valuation, we're not going to want to put a sell-on fee in there. And then we could say 40 million up front, 25 million in add-ons, and Palace are going to say, well, no, because we want the money now. We don't want it later. So there's obviously something in the deal that's not right for Palace, and it's obviously we're trying to keep it as low as possible because we've still got a right winger to buy.
It's quite a complicated deal because you've got like Chelsea, you've got a 20% sell-on clause agreed with Palace. Obviously, they're not getting as much money in the first place, so whether they want to agree a higher fee up front, that could be part of it. And then you've obviously got Chelsea having first refusal on the deal as well. And then in terms of the add-ons as well, you don't know what those add-ons are or how achievable they are. I mean, stuff like that, even the journalists
winning the Champions League, winning the Premier League, and that Palace will say, well, you're not winning it anytime soon, and you're definitely not winning the Champions League anytime soon, so you can get on your bike with them.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know what the add-ons are, so it's quite complicated. But I mean, I'm not really worried on the Gahey deal, to be honest. There's no one else at the table, really. We're the only ones there negotiating. I mean, even that news I got the other day about the offer that had went in or stuff like that. I mean, the guy that it came from it's a really good source that it came from, and obviously it turns out nothing official has went in by the looks of it. But with deals like these, you don't know what's verbal, what's official, stuff like that. But by all means, it looks they're still negotiating the deal, and I think over the weekend or early next week we'll just get something out of nowhere. Probably David Ornstein or Fabrizio Romano, most likely, because our journalists are pretty useless at the minute. It'll probably be one of them two.
I thought you were
absolutely brilliant.
No, that was good. That was good as me when we goal. Get in there, Wilson.
And it'll come out of nowhere probably sometime over the weekend that Palace have agreed to the deal, and after that happens, it's been well reported for a while that Gay wants to move. So
Is that came from the company you work for? Does it?
Well, I'll tell you what. I saw Keith Downey in that press room today.
Did you?
He doesn't know where I hide. Maybe I was in there, maybe I wasn't.
You're sitting there with the tea lady, aren't you?
Well,
right, there's one thing I have to address here. Right? Why are people asking me about PSR when we did a whole show on it? Charles, that is terrible. You should know about PSR and exactly what PSR has done. Just go and watch the show. We did it an hour and 25 minutes with someone who goes on TalkSport and is a financial background and has worked for Manchester City. You shouldn't be asking PR questions. You should be watching the shows, Charles. You want to be on these shows, you've got to watch them.
If you listen to Eddie Howe's interview today in his press conference, he still is saying we can't just do anything because of PSR. And I will go back to what I got told again, and I got absolutely slated for.
You did.
Slated for about PSR, right? And it's still coming out now. I didn't say that today in the press conference. Eddie Howe did. We can't just go out and spend ridiculous money. We are now under the rules of PSR. Just because Darren Neal's made a statement of saying, and Eddie Howe said today, it's just because Bruno says he's staying still doesn't mean we may have to sell a big player. He said that today in his interview. But because I said that what, 3 weeks ago? I got absolutely hounded. Right?
Yeah, it's just a shame he didn't wait for our show. Then you could have said it. Then you would have been able to point people to the show instead.
No, because I got where I got my information, Baz. and it was because I got the information before that man came on that show. I didn't get it off him. I got it via somebody else. We know where it came from. And that's why I put that tweet out. And I am glad today Eddie Howe's backed what I said.
Well, our show backed what you said as well.
Can I just mention one thing with the PSR as well? There seems to be a common misconception. I've seen a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's a new 3-year cycle, just reset." It's a rolling cycle.
No, it's a rolling cycle. Yeah,
it's only added on an extra year. The previous 2 years still count. So I don't know where this has started. That it's a full reset. We've still got a lot of big incoming signings and a lot of outgoing money that we've spent over the last couple of windows. So it's still very much a thing.
Yeah. And that was all cleared up. That was all cleared up in our show with a financial expert who worked for Man City and who goes on TalkSport and talks about PSR. We cleared it all up.
I've seen today, if we hawk out all that money for gear, right? We are potentially going into that PSR deadline again on that without player sales
next summer. Yeah.
So where are we going to get the next money for to bring this superstar right winger in? This is. It's what it.
So you should go and watch the show. It was brilliant. Honestly, I never thought we'd get a guest like that. Did you, Ian? I mean, we're talking about a guy who's got 50,000 followers on Twitter. He's a great guy called Stefan.
I was over the money, Baz, because
exactly.
Instead of us coming from us, it came from a person that's their job and who they've worked for. They haven't worked for no disrespect to a local business or whatever. He's worked at Manchester City Football Club and he's been to the top. He's been around these people, and it was great. Do you know, he's not scared to throw people under the bus. Did you see what he did to Manchester City?
Yeah. Well, Manchester United. Manchester City, he's thrown everyone under the bus because he looks at the numbers and he looks at the facts of what people have putting on their balance sheets. He goes into so much depth; it's unbelievable, and that's why he was a great person to have on.
And look at Manchester City's new stadium, what they're doing behind the new one.
Yeah,
come on,
it's crazy. Will, I mean, even I sent you some information on gear which came straight from the horse's mouth of Luke Edwards. So, by the way, guys, I've got Luke Edwards' phone number now. He's on holiday. We're going to try and get him on a show. But even he said gear is almost done. Keep an eye on it. Goes on holiday, turns his phone off, and he's laughing his tits off because it's not done yet.
I know. To be honest, it's a bit of a mess, this one. Everyone seems to be getting different information and stuff like that. Which is why I think you've just got to be a bit careful. I've certainly learned to just maybe take a step back or whatever like that. But I've never said anything's fully agreed or anything like that. I just think maybe a bit of patience is required on this one. If you look at the Harvey Barnes deal last year, for example, I think it first broke in the press on like the 7th of July and it wasn't officially confirmed till the 23rd of July, over 2 weeks later. So stuff like this can drag on. And I mean, even in my first update a while ago, my first main update on Gahey, not the one where I put out that it was interest, but my first just sort of where I rounded it up, I did say, look, this is a deal they want done before the Southampton game, and people are going, Southampton game, that's another 2 weeks away. What you on about, Southampton game? But this is a big deal. It's a marquee deal. Sometimes these can take a little bit of time, especially when there's so many clauses involved. So, like I say, I think it'll get broken maybe early next week or over the weekend, but I'm still very confident that it gets done.
I actually think this deal is more important than a right winger.
Me too.
Yeah. I think if you get this deal over the line, that's the defence sorted for
years.
Well, years, exactly. For ages.
It's quality backline, and we've still got some decent cover as well. That is absolutely spot on by Chris, by the way, what he said. Just want to point that out. Go on in.
So how does Malik Fowl feel right now?
Maybe he was never in the question and we don't know. Maybe we're just talking to AC Milan and not the player. I don't know. I mean, what about Tomori as well? Both of them are up for sale, apparently.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean,
regarding the Gahey deal, I think it's probably already done. Both clubs is putting out a front to say, "Oh, we're just we're negotiating," and then it'll like Will said, it'll either come out during the weekend or first thing Monday morning type thing, and it'll
Who
be.
does that benefit though? I understand where it benefits a club that's on the stock market because they don't want the shares to drop. Normally they like to do it on Friday, so the weekend,
I think it's more of a front, because if, let's say, Newcastle just come and say, we want this 60 million for Gahey, and Crystal Palace go, all right, sound 60 million, thank you. It's just putting that little bit of front of, like, they're not just going to be just a selling club just like that, if that makes sense.
I know what you're saying as well, because I think aren't Crystal Palace in negotiations for a defender as well? So whether it's a case of whether there's a verbal agreement there, and perhaps they're just waiting to get that over the line, like John says, it could be a case something similar to that.
Yeah, Wolfsburg centre back. A lot of people have said he's better.
No. I don't think
being
so.
deadly serious. A lot of people, even from our side, have said, Jesus, that Wolfsburg player is actually not a bad player and he's cheaper, so why aren't we looking at him?
You get all these football hipsters, though, don't you, from the foreign leagues, that they've watched them twice and they think they're the next bloody Maldini or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't claim to watch all the European leagues, but all I know is that I watched Gahey in the Euros, and I thought, apart from maybe one mistake, he was probably England's best player. So if we can get it over the line, then I'll be absolutely delighted.
Yeah, I agree with that totally. I thought Gahey was our best player, and I just thought second close behind him was Pickford, and that's to be honest, if that's our best tournament players, no disrespect to all of them. If you're looking at your centre half, that was suspended for a game, and your goalkeeper. That goes to show.
We're meant to have some of the best attacking talent on show, and it's the defender who's and the goalkeeper who are getting all the praise. It just shows you how bad we were, doesn't it?
But do you know, I'm excited. This is a huge statement of Newcastle. I think getting a player like him to get him alongside, because we wanted a Shaw replacement, and he can't play. And for me, it changes the dimension in my eyes where Newcastle can play, because you can drop the three at the back comfortably. You can play a back four comfortably. So you've got different ways to play where other players aren't comfortable in a three. I mean, Jamal Lascelles certainly isn't comfortable in a three. This is a major sign if we get this done.
And the thing is, obviously, Gay. Obviously, he's not going to be daft, is he? Obviously, he's supposedly made good friends with Anthony Gordon. He knows he's there, and he'll also be looking at that defence, going, well, Tino and Hall are eventually going to be starting left back and right back for England. Eventually, I'm starting England centre back at the moment. If we start linking together, it's only going to help his cause for the next couple of tournaments, because whoever the next England manager is going to be, he's going to look and go, well, them three constantly play with each other week in, week out, and they don't concede many goals. Do you know where I'm coming from? It's like long vision thinking.
Yeah.
What's to say after another season, Eddie Howe's not the England manager?
Correct. Dirty. Don't go there.
Hey, no. Be realistic.
You never know.
You never know.
Yeah. Don't go there.
Eddie put the England team in place.
He's put the England team in place at Newcastle. Will, that's true, isn't it? It's something about the agent being really greedy, and that could be why we were put off with the deal, just like Ekitike. His agent was greedy and wanted more than what he was going to get.
Yeah, you do get these agents. Some of the fees they demand now are just ludicrous, to be honest, for a few contract negotiations. But yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. I think with Shaw as well, there's a possibility. I mean, I don't think it's been used as a smokescreen. I think it's more so just targets have maybe changed.
Yeah.
Whether Gahey became available or was made available, or whether Gahey's sort of told Newcastle, look, I'm open to the move, because that's what it sounds like. And then maybe Newcastle have thought, actually, for all we like Chow, Gahey's actually a brilliant player in Premier League proven, and maybe they've thought he is worth that bit of extra money. So that's perhaps a factor as well.
Have we changed completely direction since Mitchell come in? Because Chow's rumours were there since January. So
I was thinking perhaps that, Ian.
Yeah. I was just about to say that as well, because you never know. He might have come in, looked at the potential people that we're looking at, and then, you could have said, look, these are not the people that you want. Eddie Howe could have been like, well, I want some of them. And he's probably said to Eddie Howe, you pick a couple of people who you want from like your side of things. We look into it, but these are the people I'm going to be bringing in because I know they'll want to come. You just never know.
Gordon gave him an absolute amazing CV as well, didn't he? When he was talking in the press, he was saying, he won everything in the air. He did this, he did that. He was comfortable on the ball, and maybe they've talked to Gordon and said who was the best in the England camp, and they've given him this name as well potentially. You just don't know, do you?
Well, they are going to speak, aren't they? They're not like they're not just coming to train. Even the Brazilian lads, they'll be saying like, who's the best under-21 you've got? Do you know what I mean? And then they'll look at them and they'll assess and do all their business.
If you watched the press conference today, right? Keith Downey asked about Guy, and he said, "I've got nothing to tell you." Did you not hear Bruno's little laugh?
Oh, he was giggling, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. He's funny because he knows that's what Eddie Howe does.
Right, no, but
he knows he's lying as well. It's funny.
Exactly. He's the biggest barefaced liar in the Premier League. Him.
This is why we love him, though. 50% better than Shaw. That's how much more he'd cost. Yeah, exactly. He's he's young as well.
The thing is, with Chow, you can see the potential of being such a young player.
Yes.
Right. The difference is now you've got a more mature player, right? That's playing at the top of his level now, and he's just came into the England team. We've all seen, right? Because we haven't seen him in a Crystal Palace shirt week in, week out. Right, we've all watched him now in the Euros, and he stood out like a sore thumb. And you think, God, he's a good player, mate. And everybody was speaking about him. And they weren't speaking about John Stones. They weren't speaking about other players around. They weren't speaking about because other people had so poor tournaments. He stood out like a sore thumb, and that's what I think. When we get this over the line, it's going to be a massive, massive sign for Newcastle United in such an important area.
I think we'll fly next season if we get him. I really do. I really do. Honestly, I don't think we need a right winger. I mean, I would love to get a right winger in, but if we have to sacrifice a position, it would be there because we have Murphy, we have Miggy, we have Gordon and Barnes who can maybe switch and play on, through the games either side. There's so many more options in that area than there is at centre back because of injuries and talent that we have there. And like we say, Shaw's in his last season. He won't be getting a contract extension. He'll be going off to do his other stuff that he's doing. He's got another job, hasn't he, or something on the side? His own company.
Well, if you're talking about right wingers, and we want to clutch at straws here, I was just on Instagram before, and I was looking at Federico Chiesa. Federico Chiesa's page. Well, he's one day ago, Juventus don't want to get rid of him, and he's putting a little black and white dots on his with one finger up, and I was just like, my clutching here, but
Clutching. I think clutching, definitely.
I'll clutch. I'll put some eyes on it and get people wound up on Twitter.
I love it. Right, well, right wing position. We've had a few new names come in. Reece Nelson. Gonzalez has been a name that we've seen before.
Yeah.
But I think there's not much chance in him, to be fair. But Reece Nelson's an interesting one from Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, that one, to me, that does make a bit more sense if we do go and get Gehi, which it looks like we're going to do. And obviously, we've got the PSR concerns as well. You don't want to be going and splashing another 60 million on a right winger, or if we can do that, brilliant. But I just think you don't want to get yourself into a similar position as we did in June. So if it does have to be that younger player, then I think maybe you even keep Miggy and Murphy as well if you can do that. And then it just gives you that option as well. And it just means, I think they're going to get, if we do get a young player in, they'll get a chance to develop as well, because by all means, Miggy hasn't been on the best form recently. I know Murphy's been playing well, but cup competitions, appearances off the bench, things like that, there's going to be plenty of minutes for anyone that comes in on the right-hand side. It's anyone's position, really. It's there for the fight. So if we can get someone in, like a Reece Nelson, anyone like that, I think it could make sense. But I think ideally they would probably want someone a bit more marquee, but like I say, it just depends on the financial constraints that they're under.
Does De Ligt, isn't he, got his heart set on Man United?
No, but his wages are ridiculous.
Well, there's the other problem. See, this is the thing, though. We talk about PSR and we talk about the struggles we could have in June. But what we've got to remember, next year, we've got 10 players out of contract.
Yeah.
10
And
players.
It could be.
That
It could
saves
be
a
worse.
hell of a lot of money on wages, doesn't it?
It could be worse. You could spend 70 million on an 18-year-old who breaks his toe in his first game.
But
Oh,
again,
God.
we've still got to offload. We've still got to offload a load of players for low value for massive wages, and that's what we're struggling to do. I mean, is there anything being done with Ryan Fraser at the minute?
Oh, there's one will to answer. I haven't got a clue. But Southampton seem to have
I
fobbed us
haven't
off,
had anything in ages on Fraser. Same with, I mean, the stuff was coming out about Hayden today, looking like he's going back out on loan or something.
again.
I mean, has he still got another 2 years left as well?
So if he's going out on loan, well, we'll have to contribute to some of his wages, so then we're still paying.
Oh
him.
yeah, there's no chat. No one's going to cover that wage.
No, and it's the same with Matt Target. Come
Yeah,
on.
it's the same with Target. This is what I mean. People say, oh, put them out on loan, get them off the wage roof. That's not really how it works. Quite often with deals like that, we could be covering, well, at least 50% of the wage. We could be covering more. So in reality, that then gives the club a decision to make as to whether it's even worth putting them out on loan at that point. If you're sending someone out on loan and you're covering, are you not better off just keeping the player at that point? So
See, the thing is with Matt
Depends on the
Target,
player, doesn't it?
Matt Target's transfer value, because he hasn't kicked the ball for a while, still is going to be coming in at £10 million mark maximum, right? So you're signing a £10 million player for on £100,000 wages. That's ridiculous. The wages what? I mean, where's he going to go to that a club under PSR rules that's going to be allowed to give somebody £100,000 wages on a £10 transfer fee? It's just it isn't going to happen. So this is where we're in a situation where these players are around, where we're still funding wage bills, where we technically we want that kind of money to take our club forward, but our hands are tied.
Yeah, exactly. I have
it's
heard
easy
this
to
as
say
well.
in hindsight,
Fraser
but
wants his contract paying off.
Oh, everybody would.
Yeah.
Everybody would, but the club's not just going to go, yeah, there you go. There's 2.5 million, Ryan. Just get yourself away. They're not going to do that.
Yeah. More Target's on 100 grand a week, not 70 grand a week. I'm sure he's on 100.
He's on 100.
Yeah. Positive he's on 100.
Everything I've read says 100, which I was just saying in hindsight, it's easy to say, but it probably is one of the worst deals we've done since the takeover, getting him on a permanent. But I mean,
it's a massive desperation signing, which we needed to do, which is
backfired.
We had to be safe.
To be honest, I didn't mind it at the time, but it's just that wage that I've got a problem with. I've got no idea who's putting on that wage.
Big wage, isn't it? That's the thing, and
it's probably Amanda and
Amanda, wasn't it? Yeah.
I mean, I can see why they signed him at the time. Don't get me wrong; he was coming off the back of a great loan spell, and he was a solid performer. But whoever agreed to that
as well,
made a big mistake, I think.
Yeah, $1,000,000. I think it's Amanda Merhead.
Yeah, I think it was. I think they were involved in the negotiations for getting him tied down. To be fair, so I wouldn't be surprised.
He was in the England reckoning as well, though, wasn't he? That's the reason why he was highly fought after. And then Villa bought the left back we were interested in, and ended up being crap. Yeah.
That was all the way back. That was the 1st January after we got taken over, wasn't it? The Digne one.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
All the way back then. Yeah.
And Villa signed him, and we got Target instead. Crazy. Is there anything, any hope, any shining light on a right winger, or are we literally putting all our eggs in one basket in gear, Will? And then when that's done and dusted, we'll see what we've got left and when we can target.
Well, on my end on the right winger, to be honest, it's really quiet. I haven't heard anything in the last week or so. So whether they're working on it in the background, maybe. Like I admit, I don't hear everything. There's a lot of stuff that I don't get. So maybe they could be working on something in the background, or maybe they're just being more pragmatic and they want this Gahey deal done and then they'll move on. But to be honest, I still get the feeling that they will get someone in, whether it be someone young or whether it be a more marquee signing. But I'd still be surprised if we don't get some form of right winger or / versatile forward in, which I know some people would say Osula kind of is, but I just see him as more of an out and out forward, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Mudryk from Chelsea as well.
Again,
Mudiki,
what sort of wages would he?
Yeah, that's the
ask
thing.
for?
Well, he's one for you. As I'm just looking here, Conor Gallagher's has completed his medical at Atletico Madrid for 36 million.
But we got
36.
nearly 50 when we sniffed about him.
Yep.
50. I think it was 55 million pound. I think they quoted us,
Mm.
and it goes to show what with Chelsea what they're trying to do. They'll offload players left, right, and centre.
Mm. Which it's great.
They've just signed someone else today, haven't they?
They've signed another goalkeeper, haven't they? They've got the 6th goalkeeper or 8th goalkeeper or something like that. It's crazy.
What about Solanke going to Tottenham? What a price that is!
What's the price?
65 million pound.
See, that's the reason.
So
why
he's not worth that.
I'll tell you
That's
what,
the-
doesn't it make our 60 million for Isaac look like a
That's
bargain?
the
Yeah.
price. That's the price. What I've seen for him to go to Tottenham, 65 million pound.
He's not worth that.
We
So
know
nobody's
that.
buying Tony, are they? Crazy. He's going to be stuck at Brentford because no one wants to take a risk on him.
See, I know he's got his attitude problems, but I think I'd still rather have Tony than Solanke personally, but maybe that's just me, I don't know.
I would on performance-wise, but is there an age difference?
I think they're very similar, to be honest. I think Solanke's about 26. Tony's probably
Alright.
similar, maybe 27, something like that.
I'm going to have to have a look now because that's really interested me. Tony.
I do find it bizarre, though, that no one's went in for Tony. You'd imagine, with a year left on his deal, you'd imagine you could probably get a cut price as well. You'd probably get him
Maybe a
around
lot of
40,
people are waiting
45.
until he runs it down
Arsenal.
completely, I guess.
Well, two things are probably happening there. Either Brenton and wanting silly money, or he's wanting silly wages.
I think Arsenal's sitting back, mate, because I think they're crying out for someone like him.
Thing is, for
a shout.
Tony, for him personally, if he sees out that contract and lets himself go on a free,
Big wages.
he's going to be able to demand massive wages next year off whoever takes him as a free agent. So
Tony's
he's probably not
28.
desperate to get out of there.
No, he's not. No.
And he's
Tony's
not-
28, by the way. He's just turned 28.
Well, there you go.
Dominic Solanke is 26 and he's 27 in September.
So about a year difference, yeah.
And I mean,
Yeah.
Solanke only came to light this season. Sorry, last
Yeah.
season. You know, but
Solanke's release clause is 65 million, so maybe that's why.
Oh, that
They've
makes
got
sense, if that's
and
true.
it was the same from the centre forward, Baz, you liked him. Yeah, was it over in Germany?
Oh,
Did he have-
Garizi
Yeah, Garizi. He's another one season wonder that everybody was.
scored like 30 in 28 games or something like that.
What do you think of that Fulkrug to West Ham deal?
I think it's a great signing.
Yeah.
I think it's a great. Even though when I watched him at home in the Champions League, he got took off because he couldn't handle the pace of the game. He got took off after about 60 minutes, and I've seen him in a few games now, Champions League and that, and I think he'll score goals, mate. I really do.
He's a handful, isn't he?
He's a real handful. He's a worker, and I think he's just got an eye for a goal. And he just, even in the Euros when he came on, he looked a right threat.
Yeah.
And I just think I think he'll do really well. I really do. I think it's an acute signing for West Ham. I think he's a good signing.
I think West Ham have actually had a decent window. I was just looking at their signing today.
We've still got
I think
Paqueta as well
Somerville's
for
a
another
good
year.
signing. Kilman, they
good
probably paid slightly more than I would have wanted to, but I still think it's a
bit of
brilliant
gamble,
signing.
Kilman, isn't it?
Yeah. But I mean, Wolves captain, he's done all right the last couple of seasons. I think he'll fit in well, no problems, but I don't think he'll set the world alight for maybe the money they're paying. But I think they've done some decent business, West Ham. I think they'll be there or thereabouts again.
That's because Zuma's going to Dubai, isn't he?
Yeah, I've just seen that.
Yeah, Zuma's going to Dubai, and they can't pay the full amount. There's a little bit of politics going on there with the transfer fee, but it looks like, because they can't afford it, they look like a structured deal. He wants to go out there, and I think that's why Kilman. I think that's why Kilman's been signed. But I think West Ham's had a real, were they sniffing about Kieran Trippier as well a couple of days ago? There was words of that.
Yeah, I think that's true as well. You know, the interest in Trippier, so it's an interesting one.
Yeah.
If we could get a transfer fee, I wouldn't be against it. depending
But
on
again,
what they would offer.
it's going to be that. It's going to be the one, and this is where people get quite ahead of themselves as well, because they hear listening how going, yeah, he's come to training, he's really knuckling down, he's really doing well. But that's what a manager will come to a press conference and say. He's not going to come to a press conference and say, nah, he wants nothing to do. He was a transfer involved. He's not hard, and you know. And even though Anthony Gordon's came back with smiling faces, because he hasn't seen people for a while. Do you know what it is? People's treating him with respect. They're friends at the end of the day. They're not. He's not just going to walk in with his face like a bag of shite and say, "I'm not talking to you anymore because I've got interest from Liverpool." It's these people have got to do their job, and these people have got to, because they're professionals. This, like Crystal Palace jumped all over the bandwagon where they went, Marquis is back.
Exactly.
Big massive picture out, thinking, is that going to put us off? And everybody going, oh well, he's back at training.
People get so carried away with this that someone's turned up for their employer. It's like basically a man turns up for work. Like
it is.
There's no news
exactly
there.
That.
He's still under contract at Crystal Palace. Of course, he's going to go.
Unless
a player just doesn't turn up, which rarely happens.
They're not going to come in like and go, oh God, I'm back here, am I?
Yeah.
You know.
Could be at St James's Park.
Could have been clearing his locker. Who knows?
Yeah, he could have been. Could be saying his goodbyes, but just don't know.
You know what it is? If you watch the Arsenal documentaries on Amazon, when there's been players come in, they're still smiling and everything. They say, "Tara, I'm away. This is what I've got to do." They're all smiling. It's their job. This is what they do.
How can he be upset being on like $100,000 a week and not smiling?
Devastating. Devastating. Yeah.
Oh man.
Baz, the only thing you swap in mind, he's swapping the sunshine for a little bit of a different climate.
Yeah,
true.
So
that's the only thing. Sideward step in the weather, not the football.
Well, upward step for football.
Sideways step. Don't get me started on that.
No, Jesus.
That's what they said, didn't they?
Well, there's a lot of Palace fans saying that one.
We're going to accept the transfer, but we can't accept the sideward step. Come on, man.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, ridiculous. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button. It really does help. Don't forget there's an option to be a member. Top of the chat. It's only 99p. We'll throw you into a prize draw. You can win a gift card from Diacro. It's $40. It gets you a t-shirt and a little bit more. But if you want to buy something from them, 20% off. Link is in the description. Football prizes as well. Another amazing little company. Do bespoke raffles. Lots of Newcastle shirts to be won. Lots of other clubs. Others to do cash prizes, to do loads of stuff. So please consider that. A lot of people in the chat are saying Morgan Gibbs-White. Obviously, he was a player that a lot of fans were very, very interested in. But again, that's like 50, 55, 60 million, isn't it, Will?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if, say, he has a good season next season and maybe we come in next summer or something like that. But it's probably just a bit tight for money this window, I think. And especially Nottingham Forest as well, with how late it is in the window, they're probably going to want more than what they would have wanted maybe, say, a month ago, because they're going to have less time to replace him. And he's a massive player for them. So deals like that, I think, are going to be difficult, to be honest.
Everyone else read about this. John, have you read about this? Forton are technically employing pickpocketers. The guy's a nutter. So in a restaurant, apparently he employed them to nick all of the stuff off the players as a lesson that they should be aware of their surroundings at all times.
Yeah, well, he's just so cringe, isn't he? Like, Jesus Christ. It's like he's doing that, and then he was getting, when he was with that Salt Bay, and Salt Bay was feeding him off the fork. I was just like, you were so cringe, pal. You know, no wonder you lose the title in last week.
Yeah, we're about being alert at all times.
Have you seen his Botox that he's had?
Did he see the light bulb?
Oh, the light bulb, Jesus.
The light.
He's so cringeworthy. Right,
I just like the Eddie Howe press conference from the Amazon documentary, the Man U one, where he said they want a quick game.
Let's give them a quick game. Let's fucking give it to them. Yeah, I love that. Great speech. Right, last couple of little things there, Bruno. I mean, I've never said I wanted to leave. I want to put my name in the club's history, and that hasn't changed. I want to be in the Champions League again. I want to win something for the club. This is still my dream. It's great for him to come out and say that. It's great that he's been put into the leadership team by the sounds of things. Is he going to be our captain, Ian?
No.
Ooh. Why not?
I don't think he will be.
Who
Who do you think it'll be then?
I don't think it'll be Bruno. I think he
Who though?
I think he likes his defenders as captains, mate. I think he's wouldn't surprise me if he gives it to Gee.
Really? Seriously? Come straight in and just throw in the captain's armband?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I can't see it.
If Trippier's obviously captain, right? And if Trippier leaves,
Well, technically Lascelles is captain.
I don't think Lascelles will get the captain. I think he likes his defenders as captain. I really do.
Fair enough. John, who
To be
would
honest,
you give it to?
I think that Bruno will be, in my opinion, I think that Bruno probably will be the on-pitch captain, but he'll probably name someone else as the official captain. But like we've seen last season, but was Lascelles still down as the official captain? Because I don't know, because he barely ever played.
Last season he was.
Still down, yeah. If Lascelles is still there, he'll still be down as the captain. But it depending on how much game time Trippier gets, I mean, maybe a defender, like you say, but I still think it could be Bruno, in my opinion, I think.
Me personally, as I've played, I think the authorities always came from a defender's point, where the captains mainly become from.
But this is why they like
That's
to have
true.
like different captains on the pitch, don't they? And even though you're wearing the armband, there's 4 captains on the pitch. You know, when Dan Burn's on the pitch, he's like a captain at the back. Bruno's like
you
a
can have
captain.
different types of captains.
Yeah.
You need a team of leaders. You don't just need one.
Yeah.
You can have people you can have people at the back who shout and scream, or you can have people like Bruno who just leads by example, how he plays on the pitch. It depends what you want.
Apparently Bruno's been captain at Lyon. He was captain at under-21s for Brazil or something. He was captain at his old club before he went to Lyon as well. So he's got history of being a captain.
Joe Linton
could be a good captain.
If you look in where you look at your leaders on the pitch, which is more focal about the pitch, I don't think Hall will fit that bill. I don't think Livermento will ever fit that bill, right? I don't think Botman will fit that bill at the minute because he's young. If you're looking at the lead, right, you look at Shaw will fit that bill. Trippier will fit
Pope.
I'll tell you what, correct me if I'm wrong, but was Pope not captain at Burnley?
I was just about to say Pope because he's a senior
shout.
Then you go through the midfielders. Willock won't be ever a captain. Sean Longstaff will never be a captain. You've got Joe Linton, Bruno, right? And then you've got Tonali will not be a captain, even though he's been captain of 21s in Italy. And your centre forwards, I would say Callum Wilson, simply because he leads the line by example. You know,
Tonali is the Italian captain in the 21s.
The 21 captain Tonali was, but that's a different. You with kids, you're a different level when you start playing with senior players on a regular basis, in my opinion.
He's also been the captain apparently at Bournemouth.
What do you
again? I can't see a brand new player coming into the club and then being thrown the captain's armband. I don't think Eddie Howe works that way. I don't think the leadership team works that way either. I think it's someone who's already knitted into the team will be the captain.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
So if you signed going to Real Madrid here. Real Madrid, who plays for Brazil. He's captain of Brazil. There's Real Madrid at the back. Would you, if we sign him, would he not come in and play a captain for Newcastle United?
No, language barrier.
Really?
You might eventually
only
become
thing
the
is,
captain, but I don't think.
The only thing I would think about that is does it send the right message if someone comes straight in and be's captain? That would be my only worry with that. I think he's more than capable of being captain, but it's just for the players that are there. Does it feel a bit like a kick in the teeth? Maybe.
Yeah, I've played in where I've never even given it because of the standard of play that's came in. I've never even looked at it and went, why is he captain before him? I've just went, whoa, he's a player, him. Then all of a sudden you adapt to what's there, you know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I just think it'll be someone who's already been in the team a while, knows the players. I'll give you an easy one then, Baz. So if we sign John Terry in his prime at Newcastle United, would you not bring him in and be captain? No. Not straight away, no. Not straight away, but eventually. Of course, you've got to think about it. But I think Bruno's been a captain before. I think Eddie Howe trusts him. Also, what you got to remember is Bruno is very unique in a way that he plays almost every single game of the season as well. And that's what you want from your captain, which he has on over everyone in our squad, doesn't he, really? He's one of the only ones who managed to play nearly every single game.
Another important thing with the captains as well now is I don't think the team are actually, you're not meant to speak to the referee. Like everyone's around the referee. It's meant to be the captain that goes to them. So you need someone that can sort of also get across the views of your whole team.
Could Bruno do that?
I don't know.
When it comes to the captain and Bruno, I think Bruno will be like a vice captain. I could probably see maybe Gahey or like a Joe Linton-esque type player. They'll end up being the captain, because Bruno doesn't need to be captain to be the face of Newcastle United. He is the face of Newcastle United, and like that's him, Isak, and Botman, Tonali. They're now forming the spine of the team, and like Bruno doesn't need a captain now. He's about to go. Bruno Guimaraes plays for Newcastle United. He's the captain. Everyone just looks at Newcastle United, and the first thought will be Bruno. Yeah. Before you think about everybody else.
See, my point is, if Bruno's got that captain's armband, it's the same with Joe Linton is, because they get that involved in the game, right? And they're emotionally involved in the game. That's what drives them through, and the adrenaline's so high, right? When Bruno makes that tackle and he's in front of the Gallagher, roaring on like what he does, right? As much as we love that, so can you imagine him doing that? And all of a sudden the referee telling him to come over because he missed a foul, or let's go now and have a little cracky. It's Joe Linton.
Remember, only the captain can talk to the referee now as well, so that could actually hold well for Bruno, because he will want to speak to the referee because you know what he's like.
So what part of the game then you taking away from Bruno's, because he can't be an emotional in that game, because he'd have to be that much level-headed now. If a referee,
I get what you mean. Will it actually take away from his game potentially?
Yeah. This is what I'm trying to say. Same with Joe Linton. Joe Linton is like Will says. You don't have to be a captain to be like a focal figure in Newcastle United's team. So putting the responsibility on someone, do you know what it is? As a captain, that responsibility, mind. Some players don't like it. Some people absolutely thrive from it, and some people can't.
I think Bruno would thrive from it, though. I think he would.
Right, but some people's games suffer from it as well. By the way,
no, they do. I agree with that.
Them getting emotionally involved. So my point is, you'll take away that side of Bruno, where we've seen him at his best. We see Joe Linton at his best, because when he's on his front foot and that adrenaline's going with Joe Linton, right? He gets us up the park, he gets us into areas, right? He's such a key figure for Newcastle United. I don't think he's got the mentality to ever be a captain, Joe Linton. He just hasn't got the discipline.
I wouldn't give it to Joe Linton, but I would give it to Bruno, because Bruno does speak a good game, and he's got a year older, and I think he's maturing very well.
At times, Bruno still is a loose cannon. My opinion.
Only against Arsenal. Only against Arsenal.
Yeah. Think about how many games he went without getting a yellow card, though. He was incredible.
He's done it more than Arsenal.
I know.
He's done it more than Arsenal. And that
it's going to be interesting who he picks, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't mind that, Baz, and I don't mind that, John, that he's that emotionally involved, that he does go off a little bit, because that's what we need. We want people to do that, right? We want people to put everything on the line for that shirt. But I just think I think it'll spoil Bruno. I really do, my opinion. That's my opinion.
I still think that it might officially go down as someone else. So if Trippier, it'd probably go down as Lascelles, and then, I mean, you've even got people like Trippier, Dan Burn as well. But obviously, it just depends who's actually on the pitch at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, with Bruno, you know he's going to play every game when he's fit and available. Same with, if we did get Gahey, it would be the same with him. So yeah, that's another factor to consider, I suppose. You need someone. You want the consistency. You don't want your captain changing every game. So
yeah,
you just want to make sure that it is someone that's going to play and can keep a level head, I suppose.
And at the end of the day, we all know Gahey's going to be playing every single game. If we spend 65 million on him, he's not coming to sit on the bench for Dan Burn to take his place. He'll come in and he will command that starting position from the off because he's that quality. He's a level above. And if sitting thinking about it and listen to everyone's point of views, if he came in and Gay became captain, or I wouldn't be against it, because he's going to be for the next 10 years minimum anyway.
No, yeah. I agree with that. I don't mind him having it. I just think it's not in the way the leadership team works at Newcastle. It's not how Eddie Howe works. I don't think he just throws the captain's armband at him until he gets him to know the lads, knows the group, knows what's expected of him.
He'll put, obviously with Eddie, you've got to learn everything, haven't you? It's nothing's ever given for free, and he'll learn it. But I think maybe this year we'll have an interim captain, if that makes sense. And they'll be working out who's the captain, because they know next year a lot of players are leaving because they end of contracts, and next year will be the official XYZ is captain of Newcastle United. I think we'll see a lot of change
with someone like Gee. If we get him in, I think I could see, because in my opinion it's political and you don't just bring someone in and make them captain. I wouldn't be surprised if, say, Eddie Howard said to him, look, if you come in, we will make you captain, but we can't do it straight away because it doesn't look great. So we'll give it to someone else for a year, and then next season you will be my captain. I wouldn't be surprised if we've seen something like that happen.
And what you got to think about is the leadership team is going to lose potentially 3 players out of it next summer, because there's Trippier, there's Dan Burn, and there's Lascelles all running out of contract. I can't see any of them getting a new one potentially.
I think that's part of the reason why Bruno's been promoted as well.
Yeah. Exactly. So we'll see a new leadership team form, and then you'll get a new captain out of it. So
Tonali will be in that leadership group. I bet. Yeah, he's just his leadership skills.
Was Tonali not the captain of Milan as well?
Yeah, I've got so much time for Tonali because I just know how good he's going to eventually become for this team, and he's Italian and they're fierce, and he'll be in that leadership group before you know it.
I can't wait, John. I
can't wait to see Tonali. Really can't. Even Bruno's pointed out what a nice guy he is, and he's ready to go and he's hungry. So,
well, you've got to remember, Tonali. Obviously, stuff's happened, but that guy he's just been training, and he's been training hard, working with the team, working on his English, and he's been watching the lads day in, day out. Especially after the games where we've lost, and he'll know who's got like that mental aptitude to be elite level. And I can guarantee you now, Eddie's probably even talking to him, going, have you noticed anything in training? When we've had a bad loss where we let's take the PSG game for instance, with the handball and stuff like that, and he'll be asking him questions, what have you seen? Because Tonali's just constantly been fresh.
Yeah, I agree. Right, that's the end of the show. Can't keep us any longer because we're getting on. Don't forget, guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button if you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to consider being a member, and don't forget about our amazing sponsors. It really does help, I promise you. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks to the panel, as always. And we'll see you next week sometime for the next one. What time's the kickoff tomorrow? Does anyone know?
I think it's 7 o'clock. I know Saturdays.
I think it's 1:30.
What, 7:30?
7:30 on 7:30 Friday, and then I think it's 4 o'clock.
Isn't it?
4 o'clock Saturday.
Obviously, you've got the women at 1 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the women kick off at 1 o'clock, John.
Is it 4? It's 4 o'clock on Saturday. Is it? I thought it was 1.
Yeah. No. The women kick off at 1 o'clock,
John. And then I think the men's after that.
Yeah. So I will try and do a watch along tomorrow. We'll see what happens. And I'm at the game on Saturday. Yin's at the game. Will you at the game on Saturday? John,
I'm going with my mate. Yeah,
I'm at the game.
Hopefully, we can all meet up and have a drink.
Yes, man, we'll have it.
We'll discuss that and not while we're live. Great winning the trophy again. That's all I'm going to say. It was fantastic. The next charity event we're going to be doing is going to be in January when John O'Hare and superfan Dan are over. We've got Newcastle Benfield sorted as the venue. We're trying to get Peter Beardsley to come along. We're going to try and do a live show with the 4 of us, and Beardsley included. Try and raise some more money for Stanley Deaf Club. So keep an eye out for that. It's also a chance for you guys to meet John and Superfan Dan and be able to have a chat and get them to answer some questions, take some photographs of them, because they don't always get time to do it at the games, because they're always flying around everywhere. But we're going to pin them down. We're going to go to Newcastle Benfield and we're going to try and put on a charity night again, just like we did for the football on Sunday. So please keep an eye out for that. Loads of details will be announced closer to the time, but we'll keep keeping you up to date. But thanks to everyone, as always. Mods, amazing job as always, and we'll hopefully see you tomorrow night for the watch along. Take care till then.
Thank you. See you later.